Ab Story 1. The Canadian wilderness is as beautiful as it is unforgiving. Stretching vast and untamed, it is a land that promises adventure, solitude, and connection with nature, but it also harbors hidden dangers. For Germund Rosholt and his family, the wilds of the Yukon Territory were both a home and a livelihood. As experienced trappers, Rosholt, his partner Valerie Therrett, and their 10-month-old daughter Adele embraced the harsh but rewarding life off the grid. However, on November 26, 2018, their idyllic existence was shattered in an instant by the ferocious unpredictability of a grizzly bear. The family had traveled to their remote cabin, nestled in the wilderness near Einerson Lake, to manage their trap lines and prepare for the winter season. The air was cold and crisp, with snow blanketing the landscape in a serene silence. Valerie and Adel stayed close to the cabin, while Geermund stayed close to the temple and lifestyle. For them, this was a routine day in a lifestyle they cherished, one built around resilience and self-reliance. But in the wilderness, routine can be swiftly upended. As Geermund traversed the snowy terrain, Valerie and Adele ventured outside the cabin. Perhaps they were enjoying a moment in the clear, bright day, or perhaps Valerie was gathering firewood or supplies. Unbeknownst to them, a grizzly bear, likely prowling the area in search of late-season sustenance before hibernation, had ventured dangerously close. The bear, a large and aggressive predator, attacked without warning. What followed was a scene of unimaginable terror. Valerie, with her infant daughter in her arms, faced the bear's ferocity. There was no chance for escape. In the frozen isolation of the Yukon, their screams would have gone unheard, swallowed by the vastness of the forest. The bear, driven by hunger and instinct, ended both their lives in a brutal and tragic attack. Hours later, Geermund returned to the cabin, his mind likely on the day's work and the warmth of reuniting with his family. As he approached, he was met with the chilling sight of the bear, still near the cabin and acting aggressively. The predator turned its attention to him, charging without hesitation. Geermund, a skilled outdoorsman and hunter, had no choice but to defend himself. It was only after the bear lay motionless that Geermund discovered the full horror of what had transpired. Inside the cabin's perimeter, he found the Valerie and Adele. The grief and shock must have been immeasurable. A moment of incomprehensible loss in the unforgiving solitude of the wilderness. Authorities were alerted to the tragedy after Geermund used a satellite phone to call for help. When investigators arrived, they confirmed that the bear, a mature grizzly, was responsible for the attack. The animal's behavior was consistent with the desperate aggression often seen in grizzlies during the late fall, when food sources become scarce. Valerie, Therrett, 37, was remembered as a loving partner, a devoted mother, and a passionate teacher. Adele, just 10 months old, was a bright spark of joy in their lives, embodying the hope and love of her parents. Their story sent shockwaves through their community and beyond, highlighting the fragile line between human life and the raw power of nature. This devastating event serves as a grim reminder of the risks inherent to living and working in bear country. Even experienced outdoorsmen like Geermund Rosholt are not immune to the unpredictable dangers of the wilderness. The incident underscores the importance of constant vigilance, preparation, and respect for the wild. For those who venture into bear territory, there are critical lessons to take away from this tragedy. Always carry bear spray and know how to use it effectively. Make noise when traveling or working outdoors to avoid surprising a bear. Store food and attractants securely, far from your living area. Most importantly, understand that even when you take precautions, the wilderness remains unpredictable. Story 2. On a remote stretch along the Mackenzie River in the Northwest Territories of Canada, French composer and sound engineer Remy Brossard pursued a dream as vast and wild as the land itself. Known for his deep passion for the natural world, Brossard had ventured into the wilderness to capture the sounds of nature for an ambitious musical project. The trip was a once-in-a-lifetime experience, combining his artistic vision with a profound respect for the wild. However, this dreamlike journey turned into a nightmare of unimaginable horror in the early hours of September 21, 2018. Brossard was no stranger to nature's challenges. His work had taken him to remote corners of the world, where he thrived on isolation and the raw, unfiltered essence of the wilderness. But nothing could have prepared him for the fateful encounter with a predator as ancient and ferocious as the grizzly bear. This solitary predator, an apex force of nature, would bring his journey to a tragic end. The trip began like so many others, with Brossard paddling his kayak through the serene waters of the Mackenzie River, his equipment carefully stowed. Days were spent recording bird calls, the rustle of leaves, and the gurgle of the river as it meandered through untamed landscapes. At night, he set up his tent on the riverbank, lulled to sleep by the very sounds he sought to capture. It was a solitary existence, one that required vigilance, but rewarded him with a connection to the earth that few ever experience. On the evening of September 20, Brossard pitched his tent on a gravel bar not far from the river. The area was remote, with no human settlements for miles. The forest loomed dark and silent, a stark contrast to the golden hues of the setting sun. Brossard likely took comfort in the routine he had developed over the trip, securing his food far from his tent, checking his equipment, and ensuring his camp was orderly. By the time night enveloped the wilderness, he was inside his tent, likely reviewing the day's recordings before drifting into sleep. What happened next remained shrouded in the darkness of that terrible night. In the early hours, as the wilderness lay cloaked in silence, a grizzly bear, drawn by the scent of food or sheer curiosity, approached the camp. Grizzlies are known to be fiercely territorial and unpredictable, especially as they prepare for hibernation in the fall months. The bear found Brossard's tent a flimsy barrier between man and beast, and attacked. The bear's assault was sudden and brutal. It tore through the fabric of the tent and grabbed Brossard, dragging him into the night. The composer, a man accustomed to capturing the beauty of nature, was now at the mercy of one of its most formidable creatures. The struggle would have been brief, the grizzly's immense power overwhelming. Alone in the vast wilderness, there was no one to hear his cries for help, no one to intervene. Brossard's remains were discovered the next day by a search team, alerted when he failed to make his scheduled check-in. The grim scene painted a horrifying picture of the attack. Wildlife officers called to the site, tracked the bear, and ultimately euthanized it to prevent further attacks. This tragic incident serves as a sobering reminder of the dangers that come with venturing into bear country. Grizzlies, while majestic and essential to the ecosystem, are powerful predators. They do not see humans as natural prey, but encounters can turn deadly when their instincts are triggered, whether by hunger, curiosity, or territorial defense. Story 3. The tranquil beauty of the Alaskan wilderness masks an untamed ferocity, and few stories illustrate this harsh truth as vividly as the tragic death of 28-year-old Christina Soltis in 1995. Soltis, an adventurous and independent woman, had set out alone for a day hike along the Eagle River, an area renowned for its scenic trails but also frequented by one of nature's most fearsome predators, the grizzly bear. What began as a peaceful exploration of the outdoors turned into a grim encounter with the wild, leaving scars on all who searched for her. Soltis had long embraced the solitude of hiking alone. On the morning of her ill-fated hike, she prepared as she always did: adequate supplies, comfortable hiking gear, and an unshakable enthusiasm for nature. However, one critical element was missing: the presence of a companion. She ventured along the trail, her footsteps blending with the sounds of the rushing river and the rustling of the trees. Little did she know, her path would intersect with a grizzly bear, a meeting that would prove fatal. When Soltis failed to return home by nightfall, her absence alarmed friends and family. Search efforts began the following day, led by a team of rangers and volunteers familiar with the rugged terrain. The team moved cautiously, aware of the risks that come with navigating grizzly country. Their worst fears were confirmed when they stumbled upon a horrific scene: a grizzly bear, massive and intimidating, guarding what remained of Soltis's body. The bear, a dominant predator asserting its claim, immediately turned its aggression toward the search party. It charged with terrifying speed and ferocity, attacking one of the searchers before the group could react. The victim, though severely injured, managed to survive the mauling. The rest of the team was forced to retreat, unable to recover Soltis's remains or confront the bear further. The grizzly, unchallenged, vanished into the dense wilderness before reinforcements could arrive. The aftermath was a chilling reminder of the dangers lurking in Alaska's backcountry. The details pieced together by investigators painted a grim picture. Soltis had likely encountered the bear suddenly, with little time to defend herself or escape. Grizzly bears are highly territorial, and this particular bear's behavior suggested it was protecting a food source or a perceived threat in its domain. Soltis, tragically, had become a victim of circumstances beyond her control. The injured searcher was airlifted to a nearby hospital, where they underwent extensive treatment for their wounds. The attack underscored the unpredictable nature of bear encounters and the risks faced even by those trained to navigate such hazards. The grizzly bear responsible for the attack eluded further attempts at tracking, disappearing into the vast Alaskan wilderness. The tragedy of Christina Soltis is a haunting reminder that the wilderness, while breathtakingly beautiful, demands respect and preparation. If you choose to venture into bear territory, never underestimate the unpredictability of the wild. Carry proper safety equipment, make your presence known through noise, and above all, avoid hiking alone. In nature, as in life, there is strength in numbers. If you found this video insightful, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for the latest videos on wildlife safety, survival tips, and fascinating animal stories. Stay safe, stay informed, and we'll see you in the next one. Story 4. The Wyoming wilderness is a stunning and rugged expanse, home to some of nature's most majestic creatures and its deadliest predators. On September 14, 2018, this untamed beauty became the setting for a horrific tragedy that would haunt the lives of everyone involved. Mark Uptain, a skilled guide for Martin Outfitters, was working with his client Corey Chubon to dress an elk carcass when they fell victim to a brutal bear attack. The events of that day serve as a grim reminder of the unpredictable dangers that come with venturing into the wild. Uptain, a 37-year-old father of 5, was no stranger to the challenges of guiding hunters in bear country. He had spent countless hours in the backcountry, relying on his expertise and instincts to keep his clients safe while ensuring successful hunts. Chubon, an experienced hunter from Florida, had hired Uptain to help him track and harvest an elk in Wyoming's Teton wilderness. Their hard work paid off when they brought down a bull elk, marking the culmination of a rewarding day. However, the victory was short-lived. As the pair worked to clean the elk carcass, they left critical tools, a canister of bear spray and a Glock 20 pistol, out of immediate reach. It was a fateful oversight. Unknown to Uptain and Chubon, a grizzly bear were nearby. The attack came suddenly and without warning. Uptain and Chubon barely had time to react. The bear lunged at Uptain, knocking him off balance as chaos erupted. Chubon scrambled for the Glock pistol but struggled with its unfamiliar operation. In a desperate attempt to help his guide, Chubon threw the weapon toward Uptain. Tragically, Uptain was unable to catch it, leaving both men defenseless. Chubon suffered injuries but managed to escape, running downhill and away from the carnage. Uptain, however, was not as fortunate. As Chubon fled, the bears turned their focus on Uptain. Alone, and without any means of defense, he was mauled in a brutal assault. Chubon, wounded and in shock, eventually reached help. A swift response from Wyoming fish and game officials and law enforcement ensued, and the grizzly bear and her cub, identified as the attackers, were tracked and euthanized to prevent further danger to humans. The decision was not made lightly, but it underscored the harsh reality of managing predator encounters in bear country. Forensic analysis and autopsy reports confirmed the savage nature of the attack, leaving no doubt about the bear's role in Uptain's death. The incident sent shockwaves through the hunting and guiding communities, a tragic reminder of the risks associated with their professions. Uptain was mourned by friends, family, and colleagues, remembered as a passionate outdoorsman, a devoted father, and a man who loved the wilderness deeply. This devastating event raises critical questions about preparation and safety in bear country. Why were the bear spray and firearm not kept within arm's reach? Could better training in firearm operation have saved Uptain's life? These questions weigh heavily on those who hear this story, as they highlight the fine line between survival and tragedy in the wild. Story 5. On Admiralty Island, Alaska, a place often referred to as the Fortress of the Bears due to its dense population of brown bears, nature's untamed beauty collided with human life in a tragic and harrowing manner. Michael Montoya, a 35-year-old contractor, was working at a remote mining site surrounded by dense forests and towering peaks. The island, though breathtaking, holds an ever-present danger for those who enter its wild expanse, as Montoya would tragically discover. The date was a cold, overcast day in April 2010. Montoya, employed at a small-scale gold mining operation, was performing routine maintenance near the camp. The isolation of the site meant he was entirely exposed to the wilderness, with no fences, no barriers, and limited access to immediate help. Admiralty Island is known for its thriving bear population, and the possibility of encountering one or several was a constant shadow over the lives of those who worked there. That shadow turned into a nightmare when Montoya was attacked. The bear, a large sow brown bear, struck without warning, accompanied by her two nearly full-grown cubs. It's believed the bears were either scavenging or defending territory when they encountered Montoya. Brown bears, particularly sows with cubs, are notoriously aggressive when they feel threatened, and this encounter escalated with horrifying speed. Montoya had no time to react. The attack was swift, brutal, and fatal. Alone in the wilderness, Montoya had no chance of escape. By the time others at the mining site realized something was wrong, it was far too late. Hours later, a search party was organized after Montoya failed to return to camp. What they found was a scene of devastation. The evidence painted a grim picture. Such behavior, though rare, is not unheard of in areas where bears become habituated to human presence or food sources. Wildlife authorities were called to the scene immediately. Given the circumstances, the decision was made to track and euthanize the bears responsible. The bear and her two cubs were located near the site, showing no signs of fleeing the area. The bears were aggressive, an indication they might have begun associating humans with food, a dangerous precedent for both wildlife and people. DNA analysis later confirmed that the bears euthanized were the ones responsible for the attack. It was a grim task for the wildlife officers, who expressed sorrow over the loss of both human life and the bears. Incidents like these underscore the delicate balance between humans and wildlife, especially in remote and rugged areas where their paths inevitably cross. Montoya's death sent shock waves through the mining community and beyond. His family, devastated by the loss, described him as a hard-working, adventurous man who loved the outdoors. Friends and colleagues remembered his easygoing nature and his respect for the wilderness, a respect that tragically couldn't protect him from its most feral inhabitants.